Okay, so I'm just gonna roll.
Yeah.
27 questions, Vogue GQ style interview, take one. What's your name?
My name is Paul Cambia, and I go by Paul Robert. Robert is my middle name.
What's your favorite song?
I'm gonna go two routes with this question. My first song that I ever loved is called Don't Worry, Be Happy from the 1980s. And that song, I think, framed my entire outlook to music. Recently, I was just on the way here and I heard a song in the car. It's called Sports Car, and it's got this beautiful beat. And I was like, I wanna drive 150 miles an hour to this song. So that's a song called Sports Car by Tate McRae.
What do you want to do but haven't done yet?
I always have wanted to go horseback riding, and I was told that I did it once on a beach like many, many years ago, but I vaguely remember that. So there's actually this ranch up in the Hollywood Hills where you can go and you can ride a horse around the Hollywood sign, or I think it goes up through the canyon as well. So I'm thinking about doing that. I've always wanted to ride a horse.
Why music?
I write my songs because I have something to say, and I love other people's songs. I've been singing it for decades, and I really wanted to sing my own songs. I think that music has the power to uplift and inspire people to follow their own dreams, whatever those dreams are, and it does have the power to save lives. It's something that I have always enjoyed, always spent a lot of time with, so I decided instead of just consuming the product, I'm gonna make one.
How did you learn to make music?
One step at a time. It started with believing that I could actually write a song if I stuck to it and put my mind to it. After I got over that first hurdle, it was literally about figuring out how to get into the distribution platforms, how to get beats, how to collaborate with people and promote the work that I'm actually putting out into the world. And then there was a lot of copyright, technical things to learn, getting the songs into the TikTok, into the Instagram, not getting a copyright strike on YouTube. So I would say one step at a time. It's a lot of steps. It taught me a lot.
I love it. Who inspires you musically?
This is tough, of course, because there are so many that came before all of us and so many great artists out there right now. But I want to say that Drake, Aubrey Graham, The Weeknd, Abel, and Justin Timberlake. I like to say if those three people had a baby, my style would be the output. But there's so many people. I could literally sit here for hours talking about different artists, but I know that that question comes up a lot.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is pizza, but I love anything spicy. There is not too many foods that I would not put hot sauce in, only something sweet. But even with sweet, I would definitely put the hot sauce on the waffles with the syrup, because I think it makes a great combination of sweet and spicy at the same time.
What do you think about the president?
I think the president is a master at the media. I don't think that he's a bad person, but I think that we're going to have to ride with this moment, meaning that we have to keep doing what we're doing. If we're private citizens, we speak up about what matters to us. If we're elected officials, we keep the government working, and I think we're all gonna be fine. I think he's funny sometimes. I think he's dangerous sometimes. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. He's my president too, so I want him to win.
What keeps you going?
What keeps me going is my faith in God, in the universe, in a higher power, and believing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I think we all have very unique challenges, but we're all still a part of this collective consciousness. So there's a lot more similarity in some of these problems that we all share than sometimes we like to admit. So faith is the thing that keeps me going.
What are your hobbies?
I have some hobbies. I love to play basketball. I love to paint. I'm not good at either of those two things, but I enjoy them, so I consider them hobbies. The other thing is tarot cards and oracle cards. I listen to them, I read them, I study them a lot. And so I consider that a hobby as well. I like to share whatever I pick up along the way.
What is your favorite song that you've written?
This one's tricky because I feel like my favorite song is always the one that I'm promoting because, it's the one that I'm making the visuals for or I'm thinking about content ideas for. So at the moment, I would have to say 6, but Confessional is really, really important to me. It's about connecting with the higher power, and it's dedicated to my late sister who passed away and features her voice. So that's very important to me. Also, I'd say Tap In, because we're ongoing promoting that as like a let's all tap into our intuition type of thing. And then finally, I'll say right now, my favorite one is also Unknown, because it's about facing our fears, and we may not get rid of them completely, but we act through them with courage, even if we are still afraid.
Goals for the future.
Goals for the future. Wow. I think for me right now, it is about having my message more discoverable through song lyrics, through the videos that we're putting out. It really is more about the message and less to do with anything vanity-wise or ego-driven. I think that there's a lot of work that needs to be done on this planet, and I think when we all can share our messages and they can be, maybe they're not always liked, but received, part of the conversation, heard. Everybody wants to be seen and heard. I think when the messages are able to be discovered by more people, I think that can bring us all together and we can inspire each other. So that's why I say, if you feel unseen, you feel unknown, there are silent supporters on your side.
Love that. What do you think your biggest mistake has been?
I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I mean, how long do you want to be here, right? I would say the biggest one is really not going for it sooner, not fully believing in myself in my earlier years. I would tell anybody who's coming up and younger than me, teens, 20s, early 30s, I would say don't let people plant seeds of doubt in your mind about yourself, because that is the way they get you. It's not gonna be somebody coming at you and being violent towards you. It's gonna be subliminal messages that are intended to make you doubt yourself. So don't ever doubt yourself.
Embarrassing moment. Did I just ask you that?
No. I'm just thinking about embarrassing moments, like, oh my God. So one embarrassing moment was actually recently. My friend was having a release party for her book in Hollywood, and she invited me to this lounge where the party was being held. And so I show up, I'm excited to go and support her and get to talk with her. And I was wearing my flip-flops. And they're like, bruh, we ain't gonna let you in with flip-flops. Like, who the fuck do you think you are, right? And so I'm like, so I had to text her, and I was like, I'm such an idiot. I'm so sorry. I didn't know there was a dress code. I really don't like wearing shoes. She was understanding, but that was super embarrassing. Also, I will say one thing is several years ago, another embarrassing story. So there was like this male celebrity one time, and so the first time he passes by me, he says, if I were gay, I would fuck you. And then he keeps walking. And I had no words. I am very rarely a speechless person, but I could not even come up with a response to that in that moment. Because how the fuck do you react to something like that, right? So I was like probably blushing for like 5 or 10 minutes when that happened. I was super embarrassed, but it was all in good spirit. It was just funny,
Advice for success.
Keep advancing. Whatever the move is, every move matters. Because like, if you want to be an artist, for example, it might take a substantial amount of time for you, for me, for anyone to get traction in this world. I think I heard a statistic that there's like over 1 million songs a day that are released online. So it can be difficult to be able to get yourself heard. But I would just say, keep trying new things, keep advancing. Every move counts, and keep the faith. It might not look the same for you as it did for the person that you're next to, or the person that you admire, or the person down the street who's also making music. It can look different for everyone. So believe in you and just don't give up. Keep advancing.
Weakness.
Weakness. I think about social media. It's taking me a really long time to kind of start to build momentum on social media. I think it's like always changing. Things are always changing in social media. Algorithms, the platforms that people like. There's no how-to formula. This is something that I'm working really, really hard to kind of power through, because I'm just not good at even logging on sometimes. I just don't always understand how it works. And I'm not saying that as like, oh my gosh, woe's me, or I'm just like, I'm really actually bad at it.
Idea of a date night.
My idea of a date night is going out on the town, looking our best, and having a little like stroll through the town, maybe around the beach, or around the lake, or around the mountain, wherever it is. And then I would say a nightcap, a good glass of wine, or a little neat whiskey, and some sexy time.
Dream vacation.
This is real life. There's two places that I really want to go that I've never been. So one of them is a country called Seychelles, off the east coast of Africa. And my friend actually went on it. He went on a safari in Kenya, and then he went to Seychelles, and he said it was the most fabulous beach destination vacation that he's ever seen. And so I really, really want to go there. I've been looking at photos. I would love to go there. The other place is Thailand, because I did do a Asia trip a couple years back in 2023, but I was not able to make it to Thailand. So I would love to go to Seychelles and Thailand.
Social media platform.
I'm gonna say right now, it's TikTok. We're starting to get some momentum on there. I find that sometimes when I'm talking about current issues rather than my own content, it tends to get more traction and engagement. So if I'm talking about the president or Congress or something that happens in the news, people tend to react a little bit more and like it a little bit more, or at least it's more discoverable. So right now, I would say TikTok is my favorite platform. I hope that we keep it in the US family, whether a US company has to buy it or whether Congress can get a deal done. Let's keep TikTok. A lot of creators make a lot of money off of it, and it's good to have healthy competition of social platforms.
Call or text?
I am so bad at texting. Seriously, it's like I will sit there for like 15 minutes trying to draft a text message, and I'm like, you know what, if I could just get on the phone, like I could do it. I credit that to my Gemini moon in some ways, because Gemini moons are very need to express things, need to communicate things, say it out loud. So I would say definitely texting is not my forte. I love to call.
What do you wish you'd learned sooner?
I wish that I learned my own birth chart sooner and learned more about tarot and astrology. And I'll tell you what, once I discovered I had a Gemini moon, I understood better how I process my own emotions. And whatever your moon sign is, you can Google how to nurture my moon sign, and it will help you through that. Understanding that was kind of, I would say, eye-opening to me. And also through that research and that self-work, it was like I learned some of the deficiencies of the sign of Gemini that are common, and I examined how that showed up in my life. So like one of the deficiencies of Gemini that they say, of course it's not true for everyone, but one of the common things that Geminis can work on is sticking with the project, not getting bored, not giving up, not moving on to the next thing. And I would say understanding that about myself really motivated me to want to finish this work, finish this music that I set out to achieve. and roll it out in the right way with no excuses, no backing down, just going all the way with it. So if there was one thing I could go back and teach myself earlier, and I think it would be wonderful to teach more of this in schools, it's learning your birth chart and your signs.
What do you miss about the past?
I miss the days when we could look each other in the eye and that was something that was expected. We weren't walking around with our phones like veering off into the street. Like we would go outside, we'd get dirty, and we look each other in the eyes.
What is your family like?
I have beautiful parents, a beautiful sister who unfortunately passed away last year. She passed away last year. I have a extended family that is, my dad has a lot of siblings, my mom has one brother. They all came to the memorial of my sister. We had a very traditional, like family, I hate to say that, nothing is traditional, nothing is normal, but it's like, came from humble beginnings. My mom's side came from farming in North Dakota, and my pop's side came from a teacher's salary in Boston. And so my folks worked really, really hard to give me and my sister all that we could so we would have the opportunity to do whatever we wanted in this life. So I'm very, very grateful for my family every day.
What experiences best prepared you for this?
Sorry, I'm literally crying.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Hold on, I just need 1 second.
Okay, honey.
Okay, we gotta get through this. Ask me again.
When we're done with this, I'll give you a hug.
Ask me again.
What experiences best prepared you for this?
I think every experience prepares you for whatever you step into next. I would say my top experiences are telemarketing. Getting all that rejection really builds a resilient skill set. Working in food service and as a cashier really teaches you how to deal with people, and I think everyone should do it if they have the opportunity. The final thing, being self-employed also will teach you a ton of business skills that you can take with you wherever you want to go.
What challenges are ahead?
I think about this question in terms of the world, not necessarily me, but I'm part of the world, right? So we all have this like shared challenges ahead is like, I think the fact that we are all alive right now and we're in this digital age, I think a challenge is the misuse of information. Things like blackmail of old photos, screenshots, people digging up dirt on other people, metadata being misused, someone being catfished or revenge porned. All those things were not possible. I mean, we didn't even have telephones like 100 years ago, or maybe we did, but we didn't have videos 100 years ago, whatever, widespread types of videos. So it's like all the data and all the things that exist out there, there is a risk of bullying, making up lies, making things look the way that they should not look. AI can be misused with people's videos and images and voices. So I think a lot of our challenges are going to come down to the information age that we live in now and the data that's attached to that.
What values are important to you?
When I do my work with the music and all the promotion, I always do my best to do everything with absolute integrity, not taking shortcuts. I will share what works, but that is extremely important to me. The other thing that I want to say is treating people the way that you want to be treated. That is something that probably our mamas told us way back in the day, but it's really important to me. I try to treat people the way that I want to be treated. And the final thing that I'll say in terms of values, I would like to see us, all of us, in this lifetime. 1 second. I would like to see all of us in this lifetime make Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream a reality. That we are judged on the content of our character, not the color of our skin. I think that we still have a lot of work to do to make that a reality. And it's not even just that, it's every label that we attach to ourselves. It's let's strip the labels and let's judge each other by the content of our character, not by the color of our skin. I want to see that value, that dream of Dr. Martin Luther King achieved in our lifetimes.
How has your mindset changed since you began this journey?
Everything is temporary, and that's something that I never understood before. Things are temporary. Sometimes relationships can be temporary. I have a lot less attachment to material things than I used to. I think sometimes we're taught that we work all of our lives, we acquire this pile of money that we're gonna retire on, and we don't even get to make the most of it. We don't even get to invest it and have it build new creations and accomplish new things. So I would say temporariness, I've learned that's been changed. And then also just how I think about the concept of living overall.
How do you deal with loss?
This is different for every single person, and I just want to say whatever your way of dealing with it is, that is completely fucking fine. That is your way of dealing with it. What I like to do is I pray, I meditate, I write my songs, I journal, and if I have to, I cry, and then I keep going.
What is your approach to songwriting?
I love songwriting. I've always loved the catchy hooks. I like that you can say anything in music. We have to maintain the freedom of expression. My approach to songwriting is that I try to send a message of optimism out, and even if I'm dealing with very difficult issues, I'm trying not to project my own issues out into the world onto other people. That is very important to me. If it's my own issue I'm going through, I have to own it. If it's a love thing between two people, it's like understanding that both people may have played a role in whatever the situation is. That's my strategy.
What are you most excited about?
I am most excited about the future, and I'll tell you why. It's because we are now in the second quarter of the second millennium, and we have a chance to really create a moment. We can choose to rise in this moment, all of us, and meet the moment, or we can choose to be scared and to doubt ourselves, and the choice is up to all of us, and we each may struggle with that at times, but I think that we have the opportunity right now in 2025 to make an era of time where the historians will write back on this 100, 200, 300 years from now. And we have the opportunity to rise in this moment. And I just think that is such a beautiful freedom and a beautiful opportunity that we all have to own the moment.